We are in Osaka, Japan's second largest city and known as the kitchen of Japan for its tremendous food scene. But more importantly to us personally, Josephine, my wife, was born here. And so this is kind of like coming back home.
In this video, we visit Osaka Castle, the nightlife of Dotonbori, Sumiyoshi Temple, and take you to the most unusual Willy Wonka looking building you've ever seen, so stick around. Our first stop is right here in the Umeda neighborhood of Osaka Station. Though Osaka has a major Shinkansen station, this is the center of action. There are two major train stations, one being that of the Hankyu Railway Company, which has a terminal attached to its own Hankyu department store and shopping mall. The other is the JR Osaka Station, and don't get them confused when planning your travels. They are two distinctly different rail companies going and stopping in different places. Since they are almost side by side, it is easy to confuse the two. Regardless, they are both enormous in size and offer all kinds of shopping, dining, and entertainment. Just walking through them and traveling the escalators, taking in the sights is an activity itself you'll find enjoyable. There are rooftop terraces, subterranean passages, and wide open spaces both undercover and outside. A major train station like this is a fun place to explore. Osaka is known as the kitchen of Japan due to its pervasive food scene. Every kind of culinary delight can be found here, from high-end to budget eats on the street. One place where you can sample a wide variety of Japanese dishes, all at a very affordable price, yet few Western visitors know about, is the Umeda Food Hall Sanbangai, located underneath the Hankyu Station. In simple terms, this is a food hall, much like you may find at a shopping mall in America. But this one features mostly all locally owned restaurants and no big chains other than perhaps Baskin-Robbins ice cream. You just walk up to the restaurant of choice, pick up a tray, and gather the items on your plate and pay. There's udon, tempura, yakitori, okonomiyaki, and Chinese dishes. This is a very informal and easy way to sample a wide range of dishes and people watch at the same time. Afterwards, just wander down one of the many galleries and you'll find more sit-down full-service restaurants along with numerous opportunities to satisfy your sweet tooth, from soft-serve ice cream to parfaits to Japanese traditional sweets and cookies. On the west side of town, down by Osaka Bay, is Universal Studios Japan. Of course, we have large amusement parks back home, including Universal Studios, so we just stopped outside for a bite to eat at a very un-Japanese restaurant on our way to a place many people confuse for Universal Studios. It happens to be one of Osaka's trash incinerator plants.
Okay, now folks, this is a very unusual thing to come see in Osaka. This is the Mishima Incinerator plant. It looks like something out of a Willy Wonka movie, but this is where Osaka brings its solid waste to incinerate, grind, and turn into ash. It's a free tour and it's absolutely fascinating. It sounds kind of crazy to go see an incineration plant tour, but it's amazing.
Trash disposal is a major issue in Japan, as you'll find out when you go to toss your trash only to look around and find no trash cans in sight. Seriously, walk along any street in urban Japan and you'll be hard-pressed to find a trash can, yet the streets are amazingly clean. That's in large part because they recycle so much. But some things simply cannot be recycled, and it is here that they take care of them. The plant actually produces more energy than it consumes as it burns the trash, and because the exhaust is so well scrubbed, it's a nearly zero carbon emission operation. But the building is the star of the show. Rather than a drab municipal building, this one is a work of art. We ended up having a 1-hour personal guided tour. The tour guide only spoke Japanese and was very enthusiastic that we try out everything and see everything, but no worries if you don't know the language. There's English signage and an introductory movie in English, and after all, much of the experience is a visual thing, therefore I guess you can say trash talk is a universal language. A visit to a municipal incinerator plant is likely the last thing you'd ever plan for your trip to Japan, but if you want to get a behind-the-scenes idea of what makes this country tick, then I suggest you look into it. Help us continue making more videos by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Without likes and subscribes, we can't do what we do. So if you're enjoying this video, click those buttons. Osaka Castle is a must-see destination in Osaka, as it is one of the most prominent castles in Japan. During this visit, we skipped the tour, having done it before and due to the crowds, but for your first time here, you should definitely consider including it in your visit.
Folks, we're at the Osaka Castle grounds, huge, enormous facility here in the middle of Osaka, historic place. And the word of the day is
gaijin,
And what does gaijin mean?
foreigner.
Gaijin means foreigner. And it's not necessarily a derogatory term,
No, it's
correct?
not at all.
No. Okay.
Just who we are.
But it's just who we are. And being a gaijin, you're going to be given a lot of grace because Japanese know that you don't know
Certain rules and etiquette.
certain rules of etiquette. But one thing I want to point out to you here while we are here today is take a look around us here. This is all that's going on at Osaka Castle grounds. It's just part of what it is. It's part of their tourism here. But when you're here as a foreigner, be respectful of the rules and etiquette, that sort of thing, and you'll get along really well. So the word of the day is gaijin. You're a gaijin, but that's okay.
One of the most photographed places in Osaka as well as Japan is the Dotonbori Canal District. There's not another place like it in Japan or on Earth, really. It's impressive in the daytime, but it shines brightest, and no pun intended, in the evening. It's like being at a crazy carnival. The neon lights and artistic statuary are simply over the top. Your senses will be on overload both from the lights and the people. It is always packed, and you'll feel as if you stepped into a World's Fair because you'll hear every language imaginable, as this is a must-see destination for every visitor to Osaka, and at times it feels as if every single visitor is here at the same time. But don't let that dissuade you, because if you look carefully, you can find hidden alleys where you can find some solitude, such as this one. It may look sketchy at first, but you're in Japan, the safest country on the planet, so go explore. Spots like this make for a wonderful respite from the crowd.
If you look around carefully, you'll see some very tiny alleys that branch off from the main streets, such as this one here. And it's actually completed with beautiful artwork as you go up and down. And where I'm standing, there happens to be an air conditioning unit right above me, which is a nice surprise.
But back on the main drag, you'll find boat tours going up and down the canal, as well as a unique Ferris wheel of sorts at the huge Don Quixote store. Everywhere you turn is another restaurant or street food vendor. You can spend hours here going up and down, sampling the variety of foods, or simply watch from a distance.
Now, in Dotonbori, it's most famous in the evening when the lights come out, and with it come the people. But if you notice, there's no open alcohol, nobody carrying around drinks, even eating much, although there's tons of street food around. Everyone tends to be generally pretty polite. They're pushing and jostling at times for that best selfie pose or whatever, but for the most part, they get along well and will get out of your way.
After Dotonbori's crazy nightlife, you may want some peace and quiet. No better place than a Shinto Shrine. As modern as Osaka is, it has plenty of traditional shrines and temples.
I'm now standing in the Sumiyoshi Temple grounds. It's in southern part of Osaka. It's an easy train ride from the main station. Beautiful, beautiful grounds, very historic bridge here over the water. One of the nice things is this place is not crowded. It's off the beaten path. And although Osaka is a huge tourist city and crowded with lots of people, come down here to get away from those crowds and you'll see some beautiful scenery.
Other than the persistent crows calling, it is a very quiet place. Climb over the unique arched bridge onto the temple grounds. Just be careful to take your time, as this is one steep bridge both going up and down.
I made it.
During this visit, we stayed at the Hotel Montere. It's nearly a kilometer from the JR station. However, you can walk all but the last 50 meters underground via the network of passageways, thus keeping you out of the weather. This is a business class hotel, though it caters more to foreign tourists. The rooms are of decent size and very comfortable. Of course, they are clean and have a nice bath. At just $125 per night, it was well worth it. In Osaka, there's so much to see and do, we can't cover it all in this video, so come back later as we visit the Osaka City Museum, go to the top of the unique Umeda Sky Observatory overlooking the city, and visit the retro Sutenkaku neighborhood, Dotonbori's less crowded and lesser known sibling with great street food. Watch for our upcoming video when we compare Tokyo and Nagoya. We pit the top rated city against its lesser known twin as we compare the pros and cons of both amazing cities. Which is our favorite and why? You'll have to come back to find out, but we guarantee you'll be the winner in this contest of these two mega cities. Until next time, sayonara.